Hello and welcome to Retailer Assistant Physical Inventory Software. Now, this software is a program that helps retailers make the task of doing a physical inventory count more organized and more efficient and with greater accuracy. So, of course, it's important to do a physical inventory count on a regular basis to make sure that the quantities that show in your inventory management software accurately match what is actually on the shelf and in the store location. And this is not fun to do. Some of us are good at it, some of us are good at this and don't mind the amount of continually focused, detailed attention that's required so that at the end of a long day of counting, we feel good about the accuracy of the results. But all too often, after the job is complete, there are gaps and there are uncertainties about how well things went. So you might hear remarks like, I'm not sure I scanned the right barcode on those items, or did I count that zone twice? Things like that. So there are many ways that a PI can go sideways. And when you have a team of paid people and you have a limited time window to accomplish the goal, it's important that you're ready and that you're well organized and prepared to handle the challenges that will emerge during the physical inventory event. Retailer Assistant is designed to help meet these challenges and to make that important day or set of days, as the case may be, go smoothly and quickly and get an accurate count. And this product is helping retailers not only get an accurate count, but also get control of what's going on out there in the showroom. So let's get right down to it. Now you're looking at the user interface for Retailer Assistant, and this user interface is designed for use during the day of the event. It allows for quick and easy data uploads from the workers who are out there scanning barcodes. It also allows for the verification of data in real time. It also allows the supervisor to see what's coming in and to make quick on-the-fly corrections when needed. Say when a worker has some additional information, maybe some extra items were counted, or a barcode didn't scan correctly, that sort of thing. Now, as you're looking, you'll notice that there are two tabs to this screen here. There's the data input tab, which is where the data is brought in and uploaded into the software from the scanning devices of your workers. It's displayed there and it allows for manipulation and correction. Okay, we'll talk about this in more detail. The verification tab is where the barcodes are verified as existing items in your inventory management software, your POS system. Okay, and you can see that the item information for the scanner uploads, when they're brought in, that information is displayed for you to see. This is also a screen where reports are generated and where zones are approved, and we'll talk more about that later. Now, on the left of the screen are various controls that affect the overall task. The software is designed to work with prepared handheld barcode scanners that we provide for rent or for purchase. And these devices scan barcodes and collect barcode data that will be wirelessly uploaded on a regular basis throughout the day of the count. Now, this version of the software allows for 12 simultaneous workers who will be counting and uploading to the software. And each worker has a name field and a zone field and a data input field, as you can see. So when workers come to upload a batch, they will work within their designated spaces. So you can see here that Sophie has a space, Bob and Jesse, Rhonda and Charles and so forth. They all have their designated spaces where they can work and upload their data. Workers' names are entered once in the name fields, and this will be their designated data input space. They'll be working and uploading data from various zones in their designated space throughout the count. Now, it's important that workers use their designated space for audit purposes, and it's also very helpful when there's a need at the end of the count when discrepancies are found and the worker needs to be consulted about what items were on the shelf. Okay, so let's talk about zones. The term zone refers to a temporary designated physical space where a worker or set of workers are counting items. I'll say that again. The term zone, in this case, refers to a temporary designated physical space in your store where a worker or set of workers are counting items. And it's specific to the use of retailer assistant software during the event, during the counting event. And it's not necessarily related to the zones or the departments that you have designated in your point of sale software. Okay, so for instance, you may have a department called men's casual shoes. And men's casual shoes may refer to more than one location in your store. You may have some of these items on a display in the front of the store while the rest of them are located in a designated space elsewhere in the store, okay? They would be in the same category, the same type, the same category of merchandise, but they are located in different places in the showroom, okay? Zones are not like this. A zone is a physical space that you are cordoning off for the count. It might be an aisle or a set of aisles such as aisle 3 and 4, or it might be in the northeast corner section of the store in a smaller retail store. It might be the display window, or it might be in the receiving room, okay? The zone can be large or it can be small according to your preferences, although we don't recommend them to be too small, as workers might get done too quickly with a zone and thus be inefficiently taking up time uploading small batches. And we also don't recommend that the zones be too large either. If it's too large, then you may not be able to track what's going on, or what's going on during the count in a particular zone. Or should you need to go back and make a correction, you'll take longer to find the actual place on the shelf where an item is located. The zone size has a sweet spot. You don't want it to be, too small, like a little rack with 60 or 70 items. But you also don't want it to be too large, say the second floor of the store. It needs to be visibly logical, easy for workers, unskilled workers, to find and stay within so that they are not accidentally counting in another zone. And also, they should not be disproportionate in size to the other zone. Give them all similar sizes if possible. So before you start the event, you're going to want to map out your store and create zones. And to create zones, you're going to click the Zone Edit button, and that will bring up this little window. Now, I only have two zones here, and I can add to those zones. And it doesn't have to be numbers, it can be a description. So if I wanted to make it say northeast corner, sometimes we might want to just say the northeast corner of the store, okay? And in that case, you would have that as one of your zones, okay? But in this case, we're going to just keep it simple, and we're just going to add some numbered zones. So I'm going to add zone 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. Okay, and notice that you can add multiple zones at once by separating them with the pipe character, which is usually the shift backslash key right above the enter key on your keyboard, the pipe character. So I've created these 6 zones. This is a small store. And now when I go to my drop down menu, here I have my 6 numbered zones. So now we're going to place our various workers in the zones throughout the store. So we're going to put Sophie in zone 1. We're going to put Bob in 4. We're going to put Jesse in 3. We'll put Rhonda in 2. And we'll put Rhonda and Charles together in 2. Stephanie, she's going to be in with Bob in zone 4. Rachel's going to be in zone 5. And Mike's going to be in zone 5 as well. So just another thing about zones, obviously workers can share zones. You can have more than one worker in one zone. They can both come to their individual data input fields and upload their data. They are not locked into a particular zone. So the zone for an upload from their scanner device can be chosen arbitrarily from their drop-down menu at the time when they're uploading. However, it's important to understand that one upload batch from the scanner is limited to one zone. You don't want to have a batch from your scanner from 2 different zones. A worker should not scan items from 2 different zones before uploading a batch. So enough about zones. Now let's talk about uploading data from the scanning devices. So uploading data from the scanners is fairly straightforward. There's a series of buttons on the keypad that you press, and the data is wirelessly uploaded into the input box on your screen. So let's say a worker has finished an aisle and is ready to upload a batch of data from her count. She comes over to the workstation, she finds her name, and that's usually with the help of a supervisor, and chooses from the drop-down list the zone in which she's been counting, and she places the cursor in the entry box and presses those series of buttons to upload the data. So we're just going to do that. We're going to say Rhonda has come over and she's been scanning in zone 3, and we're going to go through a series of keystrokes. There's a keypad on the top of the device, and we're just going to export this into her box. So there comes her. This is not a whole lot. We've just got about 14 or 15 scans here. Usually it's many more than that. Okay? So you can have a look at the results once it has completed by, you can scroll up and down within the box, and you can also edit the contents of this box. So say if she tells you that a correction in quantity is needed for a particular item, let's say this one here, it has 2, but there's actually 3 on the shelf. So you can make that edit right there. So back to our example, after the upload has completed and any adjustments are made if necessary, you want to click this process data button that's below the input box of that particular worker. Now when you click that, the program's going to go through the entire inventory of your store and verify that an item matches each barcode, each one of these barcodes that's entered. So we're just going to click the process data button, and notice how the screen changes to the verification screen. And now we have a list of the items that are in this batch. We have the numbers that are on the left, and the descriptions and some attributes, and the name of the counter, and the quantities counted for each one of those items. Now, if there are some scans that don't match what's coming into your system, there's going to be a pop-up window that will inform you, like this. This is a batch that contains an error. says batch errors. Some barcodes did not exist in the database. We want to check the verification. So no, I don't want to approve this batch here. So I'm not going to clear my scanner. I'm going to go and have a look at this. So looks like we do have a stray barcode here that doesn't look uniform with the others. So notice that there's a gap in the list. There's nothing matching. So that's the culprit item. So if I go back here to my data input screen, I can make that correction. Now, in this case, it looks like what happened, and this is probably what would happen on the floor. Sometimes it'll just be a stray scan that got into the barcode scanner, okay? And the worker went ahead and corrected it. And that's what we're going to do here. We're just going to delete this one, okay? We're going to take it out of the list to correct the scanner upload, and we're going to process the data again. Okay, so this time we've got a good batch. It's a small one, but it's a good one. All right, we have 13 items scanned. There's a total number of scans within this batch of 20. Do we want to approve this batch? And we're going to say yes. Now, a window is going to pop up to remind you to clear your scanner. And it asks you if you have cleared your scanning device memory of the uploaded data. Now, it's important to clear the scanner memory for obvious reasons. You don't want to enter a counted batch a second time. That would double the quantities for that batch. So it's important that you discipline yourself, that you don't answer yes to the question until you've actually cleared the scanner memory. Sometimes even the best of us forget when there's a lot going on during an event. It's best to stick to the routine. So we're going to clear the scanner memory, and we're going to click yes, and then you're good to go for your next upload. Now, Jesse's been scanning in zone 3 as well with Rhonda. So we're going to put the cursor over in her box, and we're going to bring her scanner to the console. We're going to go through a series of keystrokes, and we're going to upload her data. And there it goes. Now this is a small batch. For the sake of our demonstration, we're going to process this data. It's verifying. Looks like everything came through without any errors. So we're going to approve this upload. And we're going to clear her scanner now and answer yes. Now you'll also see the names of the zones in which you've been counting appear in the active zones list to the left. Now active zones are zones that are actively being counted, and they are shown in this box here. Okay? These are zones that will accept new upload data from your scanning devices. Active zones can also have reports generated by clicking the Zone Report button. You want to highlight the zone that you would like from the list and click this Zone Report button. In the spreadsheet grid to the right will appear a list of the items counted, the worker who counted each item, and the quantity. In some cases, it may be necessary to have a paper trail of the count, in which you'll want to print out your report, say for supervisor approval. That's done by simply clicking the print button. Now, once a zone count has been completed, it can be closed by approving it. So you'll want to approve the zone by clicking the Approve Zone button here at the bottom. And there'll be a box that appears asking for the name of the person approving the zone. So let's say that Stephen is the supervisor for this event, and we'll say OK. Now notice that Zone 3 is no longer in the active zone list. It has been moved over to the approved zone list. Now, approving and closing a zone does two things. First, it prevents uploads from being accidentally added to the zone count of that zone because it's closed. Now, secondly, it will create an audit trail log that is often necessary for accounting purposes. Now, every scanner upload and zone approval is recorded in a log with a time stamp, and this can be helpful if there is an audit or when checking discrepancies in your inventory management system. At the end of the day, when all of your zones are completed and approved, they can all be brought into one ad count file that will be uploaded into your inventory management system. And from there, you can go through your inventory and compare your count with what you have in your system and update your inventory quantities. So that's it. We've covered the basic functionality for how this product works. Now we just have a few recommendations and tips for you based on our experience with retailers and working with this product. Before you begin officially counting inventory and entering data on the big day, it's a good idea to practice. It's a good idea to practice scanning barcodes, uploading data into the software, running some reports and approving zones. Just get familiar with it. Let your workers get familiar with how the devices work and get familiar with some of the features such as how they can key in numbers through the scanning device keypad. You should also go through the routines of uploading data and making mock corrections to the data, approving the uploads, and then clearing the data from the scanner memory. Go ahead and do anything you like to get familiar with the scanning devices and get familiar and confident with the software. Then when you're finished practicing and you're ready to begin the official count, you can click the Clear Job button to clear out all of your practice data that you've entered and start over with the official count. You can keep track of progress throughout the event and even worker performance by clicking the Show Stats button on the left of your screen. You can run this report at any time of the day. And here you can see the cumulative records and scans for the store and for each zone, as well as the stats for your workers. So Retailer Assistant keeps track of what is happening throughout the entire event. Well, that's about it. Retailer Assistant Physical Inventory. Your retail tech support can assist you with getting ready for the event and getting the verification function connected with your POS system. We can also remotely supervise the event, and this is often a good idea if you're a first-time user. Please feel free to call us if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.